All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, great millstone that taught us his word, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across the planet Earth, pushing this truth, the spirit, sincerity, and the truth. I'm out here once again, to prophesy, to warn our people, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the upcoming calamity, ultimately the upcoming destruction that the Lord has slated for this place. So right now, it's high time to wake out of sleep. So basically, I just want to get into the Revelation 6 chapter, the main lesson, because we're in the time that Yahushua has broken the seals, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of His word. And it's high time to wake out of sleep, because man, you need this truth. You need spirit. Ultimately, you need that faith in Yahushua, man, in order to get you through these times, man. But only the elect, man, is going to wake up. So that's why you come out here, to wake up the elect. And it's all it takes is for them to hear the word, But first scripture is Romans 13 and 11, and that, knowing the time, that now is high time to wake out of sleep. Yeah, now is high time. How do you know? Because these prophecies, man. Everything is going crazy. Everything's in full blown, in full motion, man. Trump doing his thing in office. These prophecies are doing their thing, man. Uproars of the people, man. A little bit, I'm going to get off this article about how this guy, he has a gun. He's protecting his home, from ICE. So that's uproars of the people. That's civil war. Everybody's gearing up with their swords and their guns. There's gonna be all out chaos in these streets. That's why you need the protection, the guidance of the Most High and the Son Yahushua, man, to get you through these times, man. And that, knowing the time that it is high time to wake out of sleep. Yeah, it's high time to wake out of sleep. A lot of people have been asleep far too long. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man, y'all been asleep. So now it's time to wake up. The seals have been broken. The truth is out. The truth is being pushed. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Yeah, salvation, man, is nearer than we believe, man. You have a date in your mind when you think, Lord, hey, it's closer than that, man. No man knows the time of day. Even Yahushua doesn't know the time of day. But hey, we're close because of what? These prophecies, man. That's the most important thing. That's the testimony of Yahushua, the spirit of Yahushua. It's prophecy. That's the main thing that we need to be talking about, teaching about, and watching over. You gotta be watching in these last days. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. So let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the whole armor of light. Yeah, cast off the works of darkness, man. Following these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, man. You want to escape. That's how you put off darkness. Pray into the day. That's how you keep you in the spirit. That's how you put off darkness, man. Let us put on the whole armor of light. What's that? It's this truth, it's scripture, man. This truth is like it's like armor, That's what you need to get you through this daily, It's fight, man. Because whoever departed from evil maketh himself a prey, man. And we're in this flesh. So we're constantly battling this flesh, man. We're constantly battling Satan and wiles with the devil, man. Constantly. That's why you got to put on this whole armor. You got to stay close to the water, stay close to the armor, man. Because this is our only shield in this thing. We're in this flesh. This is our only battle against, these spirits out here, man. And our flesh. Let's put on. Just going into that whole, the armor of light, and how this truth is like armor. 1 Thessalonians 5, 8. Actually, you know what? We start at 2. It's 1 Thessalonians 5 and 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Yeah, it's going to come when you least expect it. That's why you always got to remain in the Spirit, walk in the Spirit, and always be found doing the work. Because the Lord's going to come, at an hour when no one's watching, no one's looking. That's why you got to be in the Spirit at all times, man. It says the Lord cometh as a thief in the night, when people least expect it. When people least expect him to come. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman, a child, and they shall not escape. Yeah, when they shall say peace and safety, sometimes people are going to say peace and safety. They want to pass a bunch of peace accords. World leaders talking about, oh yeah, we worked out a deal. We're not going to be like, we're not going to go to war. We're not going to do this. Or however it goes down. But there's going to come a time when people will be like, hey, whenever they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. That thief in the night. But you brethren, you're not in darkness, that ye should overtake you as a thief. Yeah, man. When you're in this truth, you immerse yourself in this truth, in this word, you're doing the work, you're not going to be in darkness, man. You're going to be constantly watching, praying, knowing the time that you're in, measuring the time diligently in itself. We know the times that we're in. Ye are all children of light and children of the day. We are not of the night or of darkness. Yeah, we're not in gross darkness, man. We know the truth. We know who we are. We know what's going on out here. We know who our power is, man. We know who we worship. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Yeah, be sober-minded. Watch. Letting us know, hey, measuring the time diligently in itself. Praying, as well as watching. Watch and pray. For they that sleep in the night, and they that be drunken in the night. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith. That's the main thing in this thing, man. Yeah, you keep laws, statutes, and commandments as the best of your ability. But you're not going to be saved by the law, man. You're not going to get the law perfect. What it's going to save you is faith in your works, man. And that's what's going to save you. Putting on the breastplate of faith, man. That chest plate, that breastplate, that's going to be the main protection out here. Dealing with these spiritual darts being thrown at you, man. That breastplate of faith and love. For the helmet, the hope of salvation. Because that's our hope, man. Hey, that's our only hope out here, man. I was just driving up here and I saw a billboard or poster that said hope. It has to be loud. That has to be loud, man. You have to come out here and it has to be loud on you, man. That hope. Hope of what? Hope of salvation, man. That's the only chance we got out here, man. Boy, how we shot, man. That's our only shot. Scripture say, woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help. Woe unto you that go down to this government. You go to Esau for help. Go to this government for help, man. Yahushua is our only help out here, man. And for the helmet, because it's always, on your mind. That's why I liken it as a helmet. You're always thinking about that salvation, man. That's our only shot out here. Lord said, Jacob, thou worm, man. We have nothing, man. We lost everything. We're not a sovereign people. We got the Black Panthers, they're back in the news now. Black Panthers, they want to stand up against ICE, holding guns and all that. Okay, do that, man. One guy was watching, man, talking all kinds of mass cash stuff, man. Talking about he sees raw, armed up, ripped up, telling everybody else, get these big guns, get these AR-15s, like they used to do back in the 70s, walking around with guns, man. It's like, resurrecting that old Black Panther spirit. Esau like, yeah, bring it. That's Esau's weapon, man. That's his blessing, man. Esau can't wait to get at you. That's what Esau wants, man. That's the main thing that he wants. You ninjas, to arm up, to grip up, and start a war. Man, this is this man's blessing, man. God, y'all gonna get taken out. want to be a militant and all that. Lord said, He sent us out here to be, faithful, wise as serpents, harmless as doves, man. He didn't send us out here with guns and be militant, rise up against the government. No. The Lord said, wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. Right? The Lord said, Jacob, thou worm, man. We got no defenses here, man. We got no allies here, man. We're like worms, man. Only protection lies with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Yeah, and for the helmet, the hope of salvation, man, because that's the only thing we have is hope. That's the definition of faith. What's the definition of faith according to the scriptures? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, man. We got people coming up here to want us to produce all types of documents. We want the evidence. We have that hardcore evidence. Hard copy on paper. Tracing our lineage back to the Israel. We can't do that, man. Shouldn't say, don't give heed to endless genealogies, man. Causing more questions than edifying, man. The evidence of things hoped, the evidence of things not seen, man. Faith is our evidence. The scripture said so. Deuteronomy 28:68. Second Ezra is the 13th chapter, man. That's the only evidence we need. Hope of salvation for a helmet. That hope of salvation. Let me read that in the AMP. 1 Thessalonians 5:8. But since we believers belong to the day, let us be sober, having put on the blessed plate of faith and love. That's our helmet. Hope, confident assurance. Confident hope, the hope and confident assurance of salvation, man. That's your assurance. You just know. At the end of the day, you know. It's in your spirit that Yahushua is coming to save, his elect, that hopeful elect, his joint heirs, man. To rule in the kingdom with him forever and ever. That knowing the time that it is nigh time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believed. The nights are spent, the day is at hand. The day is at hand. But the day of destruction, man. The day of the Lord's wrath. The time of Jacob's trouble. Ultimately, hour of temptation, man. That 6G is here. The Internet of Bodies is here, man. They got the technology to actually control your functionality, your human functionality. Called the Internet of Bodies, man. 6G power, man. Therefore, let us cast off the works of darkness and put on the whole armor of light. So that armor, you got to put that on. Scriptures, this truth. Wear it like an armor. Armor of light, truth. Breastplate of faith. Faith, that's your evidence, The kingdom is being built without observation. We're not seeing the kingdom being built. You're just seeing random men on street corners and in dresses, That's the kingdom being built without observation, man. It's part of that armor of light, the blessed plate of faith, and the helmet of hope of salvation. This ain't our rest, man. Jake want to act like this place is our rest. This ain't our rest, You gotta go to the enemy for the want of all things, man. We're here to serve out curses. We're here to serve out punishment. But our punishment is almost up, man. It's almost up, and that's the thing. You should be excited about that, man. Our rest is over there in Egypt. Israel, Salah. This is spiritual Egypt. Sodom in Egypt. This ain't our rest. How people think that this place is our rest. Spiritually Sodom in Egypt, man. Our true rest is over there in Israel. Really, the entire planet. Really, the whole galaxy, man. Once Yahushua comes back and establishes his kingdom on the planet Earth, man. He says there are many mansions, in the Most High's house. What's he talking about, man? The whole solar system, the galaxies, man. Whatever the hell is out there, man. Esau act like he know. He probably doesn't. He's probably seen some things with his technology, his telescopes, but he can't get there. He can't get there. That's for Israel, man. That's for Jake. Unlocking the mysteries of the universe. So let us walk honestly in the day, not in rioting, drunkenness, not in chambering, wantonness, strife and envy, wanton discipline, man. And envying, drunkenness, man. But put ye on Lord Yahushai, make not provision for the flesh, fulfill the lust thereof. And the lust of the flesh, it's hardwired to this world, man. So you gotta fight that flesh, man. It's a battle. And you're gonna lose some. You're gonna lose some battles, But that's it. That's okay. That's why Yahushai went up on that cross, man. But you gotta repent. Let not your sins weigh you down, man. That's the thing. Pray for forgiveness and move on, man. Keep going on the battle, man. Go off on something. Hey, pray for forgiveness. Keep moving on. Keep pushing, man. In this work. Repent. Yeah, let me got a couple articles, shifted over to prophecy, news, what's going on around Babylon the Great. Yeah, this one's on the mirror.com right here. We got citizens arming up out there in Minnesota. That's right, it's prophecy. It says Minnesota unrest. This was dated January 19th, 2026. Minnesota unrest. Armed man stands watch in St. Paul. An armed man stands watch in a neighborhood after federal immigration agents are sighted. The video clip shows a man in Minnesota standing outside his home in St. Paul with a rifle, pledging to protect his neighborhood as immigration customs enforcement makes its way through the city. He's arming up to protect his neighborhood. And that's going to be on a nationwide scale, man. Yeah, everybody's going to be arming up, protecting their family, protecting their neighborhoods, clicking up, militia groups forming, man. It's just a small scale, but you can see right now, man. Having swords in their hands, man. It's part of that, that civil war that's brewing up. The man in the video declined to give his name, but criticized ICE in his statement. He was asked if he lives in the area. Yep, this is my block, this is my area. I don't go into other people's neighborhoods and try to intimidate them. I try to protect my people. That's what people do, man. Especially in natural disasters. Things go to hell. They click up with their own people. They get with their own people. I believe that's what they did down there in Katrina. Different neighborhoods. You couldn't go into different neighborhoods if you're Jake, you're a so-called black man. You couldn't go into different neighborhoods. You kill anything darker than a brown paper bag. And that's going to happen on a nationwide scale. This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So yeah, man, the prophets are popping, man. It says, I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, man, the modern day Egyptians over here in America. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor. Just like we read in this guy, man. He's armed up. Against city, and kingdom against kingdom. But it's going to be, all hell breaking loose, man. With swords in their hands. That's sedition among men. Yeah, 2 Ezra 15:14. Go to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, against swords in their hands. Modern day sword is the gun, just like we saw. There, this guy, he's holding an assault rifle, whatever. That's a modern day sword. Swords in their hands. There shall be sedition among men, invading one another. And they shall not regard their kings or princes, and their course of action shall stand in their power. That's sedition. Look at that word, sedition. Yeah, the definition for the word sedition in the AI Google overview says sedition is speech or contact inciting rebellion or unrest against lawful authority. And ICE, they're lawful authority. The police, they're lawful authority. Martial law troops, that's lawful authority. Aiming to overthrow or disrupt the government. Falls short of treason, but distinct from protect dissent, and historically used to suppress political speech with U.S. laws like seditious conspiracy. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the definition is speech or actions that encourage discontent, revolt, and insurrection against established government or constitution. That's what the ICE agents doing, man. It's pissing, a lot of people off, man. It's causing a sedition. And also an insurrection. That's why they're trying to pass, these insurrection acts. This insurrection act is always getting thrown at us now. We're hearing more and more about the insurrection act. But the scriptures talk about an insurrection as well, man. Be an insurrection on those that fear the Lord. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Yeah, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes. Yeah, the modern day king, modern day prince, the governors, mayors, they're not going to listen to what these guys have to say. Of course, their actions will stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. They're going to block off the cities. Because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed. And men shall be afraid. Yeah, men are going to be afraid out here, man. Yeah, I just wonder, we'll bring out that article. Reading on, and he says he added that 30 or 40 to 50 people turned out in front of the home, likely for protest or anti-ICE action. The videos captured. This is what happens when federal agents turn neighborhoods into war zones. So yeah, man. Second article from a site called bt.co, called a chilling nuclear simulation shows which U.S. state would be first target if World War III erupts. So they're saying different states and cities are going to be targeted. But of according to the scriptures, all of America is going to be wiped out. Horrific simulation shows the U.S. state that would be first to be hit if a nuclear war started. You might think that it would be a state on the west coast of the USA due to proximity to most likely an enemy, and you're absolutely right. Nuclear war feels closer than now than it has for a long time. Yeah, because all these things, we're in that time now. High time to wake out of sleep. The threat of World War III continues to live rent-free in the back of our minds. It's not hard to start to game out potential scenarios. Donald Trump is constantly saber-rattling with Vladimir Putin in Russia. Speaking out a little bit, whether you'll be drafted up in the army first or not, you can find out here if you want the nature of the third global conflict. Yes, as an eastern location as well, has low strategic importance. Makes Marine a good option. Makes Maine a good option. You want to survive the longest. Top 5 most unsafe cities. Start with the surprise. So this is Montana. Next door is North Dakota. Nebraska. You know, because I guess all those silos are out there. Wyoming. It's also home to a lot of missile bases and would be therefore a high-value target. But yeah, they're trying to break it down, make it seem like there's going to be an ounce of survival, if you don't live in those places. But according to the scriptures, all Americans are going to be wiped out. But it mentioned a draft. There's going to be a draft. Yeah, 2 Ezra 16:33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. Women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. That's all the men are being shipped off to these wars. All the women will be left here, man. The Lord said he's going to keep the northern army far from you, man. What's the northern army? The NORCOM. Try to pull it up real quick. Joel 2:20. So like I say, wake ye, for now it's high time to wake out of sleep. See that Joel 2:20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. The Lord said he's going to remove far off from you the northern army, man. So you're not going to get caught up in that military draft, The Lord's going to be with you that day. He's going to send the men, into a land barren and desolate. He's talking about the Middle East, over there in the Valley of Decision. And that is the Most High's determination, gather the nations over there to destroy them. Yeah, let me get that revelation. So I want to get into the seals. So Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. And great fear fell upon them which saw them. And at that time now, 3 days and a half, that's at roughly 350 years, from 1619, when the first slave ships touched down here in America, up to roughly like 1969, 1970s, when the word started being pushed. When Yahushua broke them seals and gave the understanding, to Abba Bivens, and the rest of the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, man. And then everyone else, that word was spread forth, gathering the elect. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life, the Most High entered into them. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Yeah, they stood upon their feet, and they went out to the highways and the byways, man. And they pushed His word. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, "Come up hither." And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. That's that hope of salvation, man. The Lord comes back in chariots, They're going to ascend up and Lord, come up hither. The strangeness of His salvation. They'll deliver, beamed up in that ship, or ships. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So yeah, they ascended up into heaven, man. That's that hope of salvation that I read about before, man, in Romans. The hope of salvation, man, getting delivered before that nuclear destruction hits. In the same hour, in that same hour, there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were frightened, and gave glory to the power of heaven. So in the same in that same hour, there was a great earthquake. What's that earthquake? The missiles touching down, 200 million hitting. It's going to cause a great earthquake here in America, man, and around the world. People said the earth rocked to and fro like a drumbeat. The power of that nuclear destruction, man. And the 10th part of the city fell, and the 10th part, man. America's broken up into 10 different sections, man, 10 zip codes. From the East Coast to the West Coast, and 10 different FEMA regions. And we're slaying men, 7,000. So a complete number of men and women that are standing on the shores of America are going to be slain. And the remnant were frightened. So the remnant, the elect, hopeful that they're going to be up on the ships. And you're looking down, and even they're going to be frightened. They're going to be scared. It's going to be a scary sight. But they're going to give glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because they were delivered. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring out the article, because the article was talking about just certain cities, are going to be destroyed. But no, all of America, there is no coming back. This place is going to be a desert. It's going to be a barren desert. Only desert creatures are going to lie here, survive here afterward. Yeah, I want to get into the main lesson. Revelation, the 6th chapter. Going into the seals, because just like we read, that 3 days and a half, how I broke the seals, and the understanding was released of the scriptures, man. Because during the time of Daniel, that's when the understanding of this book was sealed up. Into the time of the end. So yeah, this is Daniel's 12:1. And at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince, who standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. The time of Jacob's trouble is coming. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book. Yeah, the remnant, that ascended up into the cloud. And gave glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They were frightened. And many of them that sleep in the dust shall awake to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. The kingdom, And they that be wise shall shine as the bright in the morning. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But the point, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So yeah, during the time of Daniel, that's when the book was sealed up, and we didn't have any understanding. We didn't know who we were. We didn't understand, and you couldn't really get the grasp of the understanding of the book. And Yahushua broke the seals. That's how we know we're at the time of the end. He says, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. So we're at the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And knowledge shall be increased. Also, how we know this, a rise in this technological age, man. This digital technocracy. All this technology that's being produced, especially like the 6G network, man. The 6G technology. This is Revelation 6:1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals and heard, as if it were a noise of thunder, and the four beasts said, come and see. Yeah, the seals is that understanding, the wisdom, the knowledge of the scriptures, man. It's part of the seals. Yeah, it's a precept on that going to Revelation 5:1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and loose the seals thereof. And no man in heaven nor on earth, neither under the earth, is able to open the book, neither look thereon. Yeah, so yeah, during the time of Daniel, it was sealed up. There was no understanding. Only Yahushua was the one that was able to open and loose the seals. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said upon me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and loose the 7 seals thereof. Yeah, the Lion of Judah. That's talking about Yahushua. You go to Matthew, the 1st chapter, Matthew 1:1. This is the book of the generation of Yahushua, son of David, son of Abraham. So back in Revelation 6:2, and I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went conquering and to conquer. Yeah, that's Yahushua, man. One forth to conquer and conquer, right? Yahushua, he's going to come back and take down all these nations, man. That's that marriage. When Yahushua comes back, it's Revelation 19:7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife is made ready. That's Israel, the elect. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, fine linen, and righteousness of the saints. There's one precept. The next one is coming back to conquering and to conquer, and to take down these other crowns, these kings. It's Isaiah 63, the one who is that cometh from Edom, dyed garments from Basra, with his glorious in his apparel, traveling with the greatness of his strength, that I might speak righteousness, mighty to save. Yeah, he's coming back from the east. Basra, that's the city where the Edomites were in, man. We're in the east, and that's where the Lord's coming back, from the east. Therefore art thou red in thine apparel, and all thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and the people there was none with me. For I tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and the blood sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my remnant. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And that's the day of vengeance is in the Lord's heart. So he's coming back. Symbolically, that's what he's going to do. He's going to come back to conquer. He had opened the second seal and heard the beasts come and see. And there went out a red horse. There was another horse that was red. Power was given him that sat therein to take peace from the earth, and they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. That's talking about Esau, man. That great sword. You read that in Genesis 27. You know, that was his blessing. It's that great sword. And, you know, the smiths, Most High created the smiths, you know, that blow off the coals and created that weapon of destruction. Peace was taken, to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And to him was given a great sword. And now that great sword is weapons, military, and also in that nuclear destruction, man, that nuclear weapon. We had opened the third seal and heard the third beast say, Come, see, and behold, and lo, a black horse. He had sat upon him, had a pair of balances in his hand. That black horse represents slavery, man. If you look at that word balances, yeah, I'm trying to get through this quick, you know, I'm not really feeling too well, you know. Yeah, the word balances, zygos, you know, means a yoke, you know, a yoke that is put upon draught cattle. Use of any burden or bondage as that of slavery. So yeah, man, going to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28. 47. Yeah, 20. Yeah. Deuteronomy 20 and 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and gladness and heart, for an abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in the want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. So yeah, man, that balances that black horse represents slavery, man, that we went through, man. Go to our enemy for the want of all things, man. We have no power on the side. This is our rest, you know. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. That's well documented. You know, movies like Django Unchained, you know, they showed you that yoke of iron around the guy's neck, around a bunch of their neck in that one scene where they're walking. I believe it was in Mississippi. Revelation 66, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou not hurt the oil and the wine. It's going into knowledge and understanding together. Yeah, the oil, that knowledge, you know, is kind of like the parable of the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins. It's of Matthew 25:1. Then shall a kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. They didn't have the true understanding, 100% understanding. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him, till the return of Yahushua, the marriage, the adoption. And all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps have gone out. Yeah. And the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but rather ye sell, but go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went out to buy, the bridegroom came. They that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Yeah, man. It's that oil, you know, all that's given, talking about a measure of knowledge and this truth, man. And the true understanding. Revelation 6 and 7, and when he had opened the 4th seal, and heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that was on him was Death, and hell followed with him. That death, you know, great death, you know, is coming to this place. Hell, rage. The power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with the sword, and hunger, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Man. So that death, that great time of destruction, mourning, time of Jacob's trouble is coming, man. Yes, Revelation. That precept. Revelation 14 and 19. And the angel thrust his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into a great winepress of the wrath of the Most High, man. It's the destruction that the Most High is going to do to these people out here, man. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, symbolic, man, even unto the horses' bridles, by a space of 1,600 furlongs, man. So liking, you know, the bloodshed that's going to happen here, it's going to rise up to the horse's bridle, man. So that's how much death is coming, man. That pale horse to this place. Next scripture is 2 Ezra 15 and 1. Yeah, 2 Ezra 15 and 1. Well, behold, speak thou the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. That's, yeah, words of prophecy. The testimony of Yahushua, the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy, man. That's what you're supposed to be speaking to our people. That's what you're supposed to be saying out here, man. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Yeah, man, this book is faithful and true, man. The scriptures, man. It says, none shall want her mate. You can't compare this book to any other book, man. No other book has the prophecies, history, as well as the law. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. That speak against thee. As you're not supposed to fear the imaginations of non-believers out here. The incredulity. Let not the incredulity of them trouble you. The ones that don't believe, the scoffers out here. You know? Don't let that trouble you. You know? This truth is only for a small remnant of people. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. Sword, famine, death, and destruction. The wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hopeful works are fulfilled. Yeah, part of that pale horse. I'll bring plagues upon the world. Sword, famine, death, and destruction. It's that pale horse. We're back in Revelation 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with them. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Yeah, man. So that was high time to wake out of sleep. That's a lot. Read on. So Revelation 6 and 9. We had opened the fifth seal. I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony which they had. Yeah, man. Those are the martyrs, man. There's going to be real martyrs in this thing, man. That were slain for the word, for the testimony. You know, just like back then, you know. Revelation 20 and 4. When I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given to them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years, man. So yeah, man, there's going to come a time when they make that chip mandatory, the mark of the beast. Someone will be put to death if they choose not to take it in concentration camps, you know. Got them guillotines in there. He said he saw them and that were beheaded for the word. You always got to keep your strength, man. Because John the Baptist, you know, he was beheaded. Yeah, this is Matthew 14 and 1. And at that time, Herod, the tetrarch, heard the fame of Yahushua. He said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John, and bound him, and put him in prison, for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. You know? For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. You know, he was breaking down the law, man, adultery. And when he had put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before him and pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with her an oath to give her whatever she should ask. She said, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John the Baptist's head on a charger. And the king was sorry for the point, The king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. That woman, man. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison. So, it's nothing new, So that's going to happen again these times, man. The saints, prophets, there's going to be martyrs. They're going to get put to death. Some are going to be beheaded. But if that's your lot, the Lord's going to give you the spirit, to deal with it. The most important thing is never give up the faith, man. That's Revelation 2 and 10. For none of those things which thou shalt suffer, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. You shall tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So, man, be thou faithful unto death, and the Lord will give you a crown of life, man. Never give up the faith. You're the first one on that chariot right there with Yahushua, and all the other ones that you elect that have passed on, You have elect members that have passed, that are asleep, that are in the spirit world right now. They're going to come back right to Yahushua. As Isaiah 57 and 1, the righteous perisheth, and no man layeth to heart. And the merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from evil to come. Okay, so if you do perish in this truth, that's a blessing. The Lord, that's a blessing to take you away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. Yeah, man. Point being, be thou faithful unto death. The Lord will give you a crown of life. Verse 10, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. Was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until the fellow servants also, their brethren, that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. Yeah, so you have the elect members that are going to pass on up there in the spirit world with them. It's Revelation 12 and 6, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake began. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. The stars falling from heaven. That's talking about that nuclear destruction. You shake a fig tree and the figs fall down. That's how John the Revelator saw the missiles, the stars, falling from heaven. Heaven departed as a scroll, when it is rolled together. Every mountain is laid. That's why every mountain and island were moved out of their place. Yeah, heaven departed as a scroll, man. It's talking about the mushroom cloud. It looked like a scroll. Isaiah 34:1, come near nations to hear, hearken people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. That the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, their stink shall come up out of the carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Yeah, we're in the Middle East, man. Valley of Decision. You know, that's when he's going to rain the missiles down over there as well and destroy all the armies. Lord's coming to conquer, conquering and to conquer. Man. Lord's going into that nuclear destruction. Verse 15, back in Revelation 6:15. The kings of the earth and the great men, the rich men, chief captains and mighty men, every bondman, every free man themselves, hid themselves in the dens and the rocks and the mountains. It said, mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and the wrath of the Lamb. For that great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Yeah, so they're going to hide themselves in the mountains, in the waters, out there in outer space, man. It's mainly the elites. But that's not going to stop. The Lord's going to have his men go up there and get them. That's Amos 9:2. Though they dig into hell, low to the ground, you know. They got these deep underground military bases, you know, the mountains. Thence my hand shall take them. Till they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Yeah, military bases, space stations up there, lower Earth orbit. Though they hide themselves on the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out. Thence, as though they be hid from my sight, at the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Yeah, you got bases, under in the sea, in the water. He also has Leviathan. It's going to go down there and get them. Yeah, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I'm going to end it there. Yeah, that's the SEALs. We're living in a time when now should I broke the SEAls. Understand that all praises to Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh. Shalom.